There we go. That should be better. I think everyone can hear me now. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Okay. Microphone's working good now. How's everybody out there? Hi. Uh, I wanted to go live today uh, to discuss a lot of stuff. A lot of things have been going on recently, and you guys know that uh, I had a TIA uh, recently. So what happened is either Monday, February 1st, or between that night and the next morning, I suffered a TIA. I'm not sure when it happened, but the doctors did do an MRI and another type of scan, and they discovered a little damage this time. So I am going to a neurologist to figure out the scope of the damage and what I can do. I got physical therapy and occupational therapy and speech. But I am working on getting back. Right now is one of my good periods. I got my medication, so for a little while I'm gonna be able to communicate, without making everybody want to, smack me in the back of the head. Um, so I wanted to talk a bit about what had been going on recently. I know that some of you've heard. I had a corporate deal uh, that disintegrated after a while, and I wanted to talk about that and try to get some things cleared up so that people would understand what happened on my side of things and why certain things happened the way they did. First, it's important for people to know that I started Liberty Entertainment Distribution in 2015. Uh, I was seeking to get it just to do something a little different for creators to help them get their books, in the comic shops. And really, I just didn't like the fact that I had heard so much about Diamond, like not allowing, like wanting the independent vendors to go away. I felt like I could do something. So I'm sorry for the stuttering again. I haven't fully got my speech back. But anyway, I want to do something, and so I did. I created this company at Liberty, and I restructured it completely different than the way Diamond would do things. And we don't take money from the creators. We only make money on the shipping, and it's like $1 or two. It wasn't meant to make me a millionaire. We're just meant to try to get some quality indie books in stores. In 2015, the only books I put through were mine, my own books. Somebody ordered a comic from me, I would send it through Liberty, just to kind of, see if I could do this. And from time to time, friends of mine who make comics would ask me if I could ship their books for them, and I would agree. It wasn't until 2020 where I was thinking maybe I could open it up to everyone and just allow everyone to, and I can talk to these stores, which I had. Um, but I'm always looking for other opportunities, and I wanted to put books in stores that necessarily weren't comic book stores. So we tried to put them into, I wanted to see if I can get books into Target, into, you know, just some sources you just not you see them in anymore. I looked at drugstores. How could I go about getting, family friendly books, of course, in those places? Um, a lot of companies. I reached out to a lot of different companies, and this is before anybody got involved. And we always do this. If you look through my email, there's just tons of just companies reaching back out to me after I made requests for information. And what happened was, I one of those companies was referral only, and they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we have a lot of we specialize in books," and they were called B2B Squared, and they said it was business to business, books to books, and they told me they would, be able to help me get these comics everywhere, but they needed to see the comics first. So I ran to my comic stack and I took every comic that I've created or I had a hand in creating, so only mine, and I sent them a package, about five comics and a trade. And I sent that to them, and uh, about a week and a half later, I get a reply. These look good. We believe we can put these in stores. Let us talk to our partners. Another week goes by. I don't hear anything. Actually, 2 weeks went by, and I thought it was not going to happen. I thought, I'm not going to hear from them. I've sent off comics before and not got a reply. So, okay, it's okay. Well, I did get a reply, and they said, "Hey, I got a phone call. Our Spencer's Gifts, uh, they would like to get comics from you." And they laid out this really, really good deal for me. And once they told me the deal, I was like, that sounds good. Let me think about it. And that was it. That was the end of that phone call. I sat and I thought about it for about good 2 days. I think I agonized over it back and forth. I would talk to my wife, my mother. I talked to a friend of mine named Brandon. I talked to him about it. Like, dude, should I do this? And it was like, you should give it a try. Thanks, Bex. I appreciate it. I'm not back fully. I'm just here to try to clear my name of something. And not even like I don't want people to think that I maliciously, like, that I sat out here and lied or that I took people's money. That's not me. That's not fair, and I'm not gonna do that. I mean, it was I want to show people where there was a series of things that probably were my fault, and there was no probably about there were things that were my fault, that I should have, fixed. But the thing was, when I decided to do this, I spoke with a group member that I brought in, and I was like, "Hey, look, what do you think about this deal?" And we talked about it, and after a while, he said, "Yeah, if they're gonna do that deal, I'd want in. I'd be a part of that." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it then. Let's do it. If you want to be a part of, let's get some people together. Let's talk about how a deal like this might look on our side. Not so much me signing with them, but because I'm gonna have to get X amount of books together, and I would have to get when it's all said and done. I had to get 9 different books, and together every month. I have to have 9 different comic books together, and I'm not sure who came up with the idea. I'd love to say it was me, but it probably wasn't. But it was. I think that I had said, "Hey, wouldn't it be better just to go get books that were already done?" Because a lot of guys were getting and girls, people are creating big trade paperbacks, and I said, if we can get in there and take this apart and break it down into single issues, we could sell them as floppy issues. So, like, let's get people already got content created. That way they're not working on these books and we don't run the chance of being late. That was agreed upon. We brought in another member. We brought in someone else. Everyone had to sign an NDA before they came in and agreed to not talk about the deal. We got our group together and we began discussing how we would do this. And at the same time, I'm in contact with the company, and everything is like, okay, let us know when you get the books, and let us know what they look like, and send us. They might need a couple copies, and we'll figure this out. Well, we got everything together, and again, guys, excuse me, because you know it's been almost a year now. So with this TIA, things are, I'll stutter occasionally. But what happened was, um, we got this great group of people together who were putting together these books, and we got a really good price for them. We printed them here in the United States. I was very proud of that. Printing the books in the United States meant that it's companies called Liberty Books are printed here in the United States. They were good quality books, and we got them. We did get those books and shipped to us. Uh, all of that is Anthony says all that is us. Anthony was one of the members. Anthony, if you'd like a link, let me know so you can come in. Um, I I remember trying to get everything taken care of, and I'll tell you, it was there was a talk, and Anthony, he remembers this is one of our recorded meetings. He had uh he had said that he reminded himself that I had at one point I didn't want to do it. I was like, this is just gonna be too much work. And I because I was thinking about shipping books every month, like at that amount of books were just gonna be really, really a lot of work. And and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this could be done. What happens if we're late with this? And if there was a charge from the other side of the company, the third party, the liaison company, there was a charge, and I told everybody about that. The charge would be if I ever missed the truck or missed the delivery day, it would be uh, it was gonna be like $500 or something like that. But um, so I was definitely didn't want to miss a truck and be late with books. But um, we I'm trying to think, when we're putting together the books, we got the good deal. Everybody, like uh had to send their print files in and their money. Amongst the group is a print broker, so was able to get a good deal. And by I think by July, the books were at the printers. Um, I got the books on July 29th. The original date for me to get the books was July 27th. But the company, this is no one's fault, the company didn't ship the books until July 27th. It's actually a, a story where I had called and they didn't know where the books were. They didn't know what shipping company they had given the books to. Um, I freaked out about that. Um, but they found them, and they found out they were at the FedEx Annex. They were supposed to be delivered to me on the 28th. Uh, Randy come down on the 28th to help me with getting the books because we knew they'd be in, and we wanted to, have them ready for the company to pick up. Um, FedEx didn't ship them. FedEx had to drop them off at their annex, uh, located, and I think that's Rochester, Michigan. I know it's the annex, and I was reminded it's on Silver Belt Road. So we went up there, Randy and I, and we couldn't get the books. We would have to take the whole pallets, and we couldn't. And we then there was not enough time for us to take every box off that we couldn't do it. So we returned home, and we waited till the next morning, and we got the books. The books did come in on the 29th. Um, Again, things are happening on both sides. So I'm contacting the company. The 27th, I had to call and cancel. The 28th, when I called and canceled, um, they uh, uh, told me that I would have to actually pay because the truck was en route. So I would have to pay that fine. But they reduced the fine for me to $300, which I paid. And the reason why you want to pay that fine is that if you don't pay, they won't pick the books back up. They won't make another deliver pickup attempt. So you have to pay the 300. I paid it that day, and that was it. Well, what we ended up having to deal with was, um, you know, they wanted to come and get the books on the 29th. Now they didn't show up on the 29th. There was some type of problem with their pickup company, or the company they had chose that had a roadside incident. I'm not sure what happened, but they couldn't pick the books up. They said they didn't want to. Like, it's like that's how I felt. Like, oh, we don't want to pick the books up. Like, what are you talking? Like, they never said that, but that's kind of what it seemed like. Like they were just being kind of lackadaisical. And when I emailed and I kind of voiced my displeasure, I got an email back that was like, "You canceled our pickup, 3 times now, and you're mad with you're mad with us because we don't have a new pickup date for you. When we get one, we'll let you know." Um, so I want you guys to understand, like, looking at it after speaking to a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people about this, my lawyer, other people who were, peripherally involved. They tell me, and I've given some videos, I've given some, documents over. They were like, man, you seem like you were being groomed a bit to do this, you couldn't talk to anybody about the deal. You couldn't talk. I couldn't even talk to my wife. I didn't even tell her stuff because I was unsure what I could tell anybody. And it got to the point where, I mean, I was like, no one knows this, but I was having issues because I could not, like, I was under so much stress. Like, you can't tell people this, you can't tell them, like, at one point it was like, you don't even tell them that you're I don't tell I remember I got an email at one point that said, uh, don't discuss your order numbers with your vendors. And I remember writing back and saying that's impossible. I can't not tell them what why, how do I get that? I can't do that. That doesn't work this way. And I got an email saying that I could. It was fine. I could discuss the order numbers with them. But everything was supposed to be kept confidential. And if it wasn't, I was gonna get sued and just all kinds of things. So I didn't want any of that to happen. And you know, they took about, oh, 4 days to pick up those books, I think. And because I was out there moving the books around, like trying to get them stashed in the warehouse, I ended up getting sick. I have a condition called hydronitis super suppurativa. Hydronitis suppurativa, and it causes my armpits and other things. If it's dark and it's sweaty and it's getting there, I get these boils and lesions. So what happened was, because I had been out there in that unit moving those books around, I had an incident where I started to flare up. No one's fault. I did the work. I was trying to help. I was out there. When I got back home, the hot water tank was messed up, so I had to go to a hotel for 2 or 3 days. I think it was 2 days. And during that time, there was some of the vendors that wondered, hey, could we see the contract that you signed? The contract that I signed was, I had explained, was always like, they sent it to me with this um, proprietary browser. It was like I could see the contract, but it was timed. Like, you had 6, 7 hours. I was told that was for security reasons. So, like, you could see the contract was set, but you could not print, you could not do anything. Well, the day that I signed the contract, I think that there was something that had happened. I did not have access to any type of computer. So wherever I was at, I recall they must have faxed over the document, or they said we can send you the last page. You can sign that, and we will add it to the contract and consider it signed. And I said that'll work. So that's how when I asked for a copy of the contract, I was told I would get a copy of the contract when the books launched. So okay, um, up until this point, they're telling me everything. They're gonna roll out the red carpet for us. They're going to let us do a launch. One launch is gonna be in New York. The next launch is gonna be in California. It's gonna be same day, simultaneous launches from the stores. And I'm like, I'm excited. I'm like, this is going to work. This is great. I'll send 3 people here to New York. I'll send 3 people to California. There was talk about, trying to get a celebrity host. They didn't know who, but it was, gonna be great. And I was excited, and I was a little, I was out of my depth in that I had, another company that I have that has nothing to do with comics, outside of comics, uh, is doing very well. I was it's still doing okay, but I was doing well, and I think I just got a little, like, full of myself. Like, I thought, oh, I can do this. This is gonna be this, and everything was falling into place, and they were, offering all this cool stuff, and so I'm telling, I tell my, and I was told I can let the vendors know about that because we got to figure out who's going where. So I'm talking to them, and we're all excited, and I I remember going to my local Spencer's and looking around the store, and trying to figure out where my book, trying to envision, the books there, and I was excited for it, but I was also told that I had to always temper expectations, and so you know I would get excited, but I would always think, man, what happens if we run this for 6 months and nobody buys the books, and what happens if they pull the rug out from under me after 4 months of running this? What happens? And those thoughts were always there, and anybody who talked to me during it would know that we did have, there was always we'd have weekly meetings, and one of my concerns was always, hey guys, the money situation. I remember I also told everybody, if you can't afford to be in it, because I understand it was a big ask, we got the comics down to $1,750 per book. Uh, and I remember telling people, I said, hey, if you can't afford to be here, I'm not going to leave you behind. Just let me know. We'll work out something. You can either get you can wait till you get your money together. Um, just let me know. And the other thing I said was, if I find out that someone's spending their bill money, mortgage loan note, car note, if I find out that someone's putting their family in danger to print comics, you're going to get your money, but I'll suspend you from the deal, because I don't want that. I don't want anybody's life in upheaval over printing comic books. I understand it's a great opportunity that was laid out before us, but I don't want that. And everyone agreed, and they understood where I was coming from. I know that some people were having money issues. That first payment, some people were having money issues, and I I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I didn't suspend them. I didn't tell them, no, you can't be in the deal. So that was my fault. I should have been like, oh, you're having money problems, not happening. Well,
But you did talk to them, and they said it would be fine, not to worry about it.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did speak to the person, but I didn't like come down with an automatic suspension like I said I would. And like, for that I failed. I failed on that as well. I should have kept that that should have been my policy. But I didn't want anybody like in the streets for this. I didn't want that to happen. And thankfully, like, you know, like I haven't heard of anybody getting evicted, but I'm pretty sure that they've, again, $1,750 for some of them. The people who had more titles than I had to pay per book. Um, anyway, I want to remember where I was at. So we've gotten the books. The books get picked up. Uh, they're taken to New Jersey. Um, we have to wait now 45 days for payment. So we begin waiting. During that time, I am still emailing, asking, is there anything that I can show my group of guys that will let them know, you know, that this deal is alive and well? Because, now I don't even have product. Like, as long as I have the product, hey guys, the product is still in still in storage. At least I have that. Now I don't have the product. Now I'm scared now a little bit, but I'm not gonna. These people seem reputable. They are emailing me from you know legitimate email domains, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I ended up getting a. I ended up calling them, and I said, I called their phone this time. I called their number, and I said, "Look, I need to get these guys something, even if it's just a a stream. Could you do a virtual like round table with us? I have StreamYard. You can. They like to use the online meetings I had with them. They use Cisco WebEx or something like that, and it's very secure. I'm like, even if you want to do that, I'm okay with that. Just let my guys come in, please. You know, um, you know, can I just have one of them on the phone? If one of them's on the phone when I have the conversation, that'll be enough to verify. Because again, I'm being told I'll lose everything. I'll lose the deal. They'll sue, and now that they've got the books, they'll liquidate the books and cover their losses. So I can't say anything at this point. My hands are tied, and I am really stressing out at this point. Because I understand the guys want proof, but if I give it to them, then I'm violating this policy I got with this company. Um, so I want to I want to get back to us going to visit. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around. It's not my intention. So the signing just disappears. It just I can't catch it. It's gone. They just start taking stuff away. We're not gonna do the sign. Maybe we'll do the signing in one store. We'll concentrate on New York. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, they get the books, and I get a call that our quality assurance team loves the books. They look good. And I said this before, to be honest, they are very nice looking books. They look good. The company that printed them did a really good job printing, but they they they, they got the books, and then they said, hey, listen, we think we want to increase our print order. We're going to take this a lot because this is going to be a pilot program, very small, select few stores. Not every store was going to get the books, but when they said that they wanted more books, they had wanted to increase their order. Um, I'm not, but they told me it was gonna be a substantial amount. And I was like, okay. Well, look, we had planned on all coming down there. We're gonna do the signing of the contract. And why don't we're gonna do the signing at the store in New York. And after the next day, we were trying to find a comic store to go to do a little signing. So we had already kind of figured out how we were gonna do that. Well, when they started snatching the signing, the launch at the store away from me, I was like, well, I would still, like to come out. And they did. They had told me, I remember one conversation I had with Kyle. He's one of the guys, the liaisons that I had. He said, oh, all of our employees and a lot of people over, a lot of people at Spencer's want to meet you guys, get some books signed. And I was like, that's fine. I can do it. But it was like one person was telling me, yeah, we want to meet you guys. The next person, which was Carl kept saying, I don't think you're gonna get a chance to meet. Thank you. Uh, thanks, Bart. Appreciate it. Um, so Kyle kept saying, like, or Carl kept saying, no, I don't think you're gonna meet anybody. I think you're just gonna sign the contract, hear the amendment, and you can go about your business. And it was like, I remember that one of the emails, and if I'm recalling correctly, one of the emails he said, um, it's not an event, it's hardly worth, it's gonna be 10 minutes. It's hardly worth traveling all the way out here for. And I got that email though, like while I was already on the road. But regardless, I had been in contact with them. I had actually before that, a week before that, I couldn't contact my liaison, so I called. I was freaking out because I needed some information. It was a Friday, and it was like 3 o'clock, and I called Spencer's the corporation, and I got into their dial employee, and I got to the sales team, and I guess I clicked the wrong one because I got a guy who told me he had been transferred out of sales months ago. His last name was the same last name as the buyer on the Spencer's uh, telebank, so that's how I messed up. I hit his number before hers, and he had told me, yeah, they buy a lot of stuff, just contact her and let her know. So I did. I left a voicemail for her, and then letting her know that my question. But then Monday, my question was answered, so I didn't follow up or anything, or I didn't. It was answered on Monday. Who I thought it was her answering it. I honestly did. So I got an email back. Anyway, uh, we we speed ahead now to doing the signing. We get there to the contract signing, the amendment. We go get lunch first, meet at a restaurant down from the headquarters. I get a call, and it's the lady that I'm supposed to be signing with has a medical emergency. Whatever, I mean, like I said, COVID, I get it. No one wants to be around each other. Okay, well, what's the, what do I do? Because I'm here. I've got people with me who would like to witness the signing. Can we, you know, what's going on? Oh, well, we'll see if we can find someone. Or she may make it back. We go down to the parking lot. We wait. Um, Other people joined us in the parking lot. I brought books down for everybody at everyone's request. Books from that we had. I brought those down. Uh, um, I gave those to the people who needed them, who requested them, and we waited. I got another phone call, stating, "Yep, it doesn't like she's gonna make it back, but you can still hang tight." We left there. We went to another restaurant because everybody who had come then hadn't eaten yet, and I did, Grant. I did. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't know. I didn't get. I don't think I got your card yet. I appreciate you sending one though. Thank you. Um, so we ended up sitting in the parking lot. We went to go get food and we ate again. And I got notification that they would meet with me the next day, but I got a signing. We got a comic book signing we're doing, and it's looking back, I said, well, we'll meet you. We'll see if she'll come there. And I gave them the address to the comic shop in Brooklyn where we had the signing. And about 2 hours into the signing, I think I could be wrong, but she wasn't coming, but she sent me a digitally signed her health had declined or something, sent me a digitally signable contract there. And I said, oh, well, this is it. Let me sign this. And I read it out loud. And they went up from wanting 2,000 units per, because now it's going to be a big rollout, to 17.5. So 14,000 more books than we had sent them. And then after that, they would want 17,500 for every issue after that. I got, you know, like, okay. I remember going out on the corner of the comic shop. It was in Brooklyn, and I remember panicking because even though they had agreed in this amendment to front the cost, they didn't front the cost. The way it was explained to me is that the cost wasn't being fronted to help us print. That wasn't what it was for. The cost was being fronted because the cost was so high. So they had to at least they felt that at least putting 50% down would show good faith. And I signed that amendment. And I remember, I think I emailed and asked them, when could I expect that 50%? Because that was going to help print the remaining books and put some money into these guys' pockets. And we come back home, and I was coasting on 17,000 books, but I was a little upset that I had driven all that way. Or we had driven all that way because Randy had paid for the rental car. We paid for the hotel room, but it was like, I didn't get a chance to meet with anybody. I felt a little dejected, but I'm not sharing that with the team because I'm supposed to be, like, it's my deal. I'm supposed to, be the one that's like, if I show like I don't know if this is gonna, I felt like that would be bad for morale. And all the while, I'm actually doing the worst for morale. Maybe I should have told the guys about my concerns. And some of my concerns were known. I didn't keep everything, like all of my concerns hidden, but there was like fears. And there was this, I did feel dejected. I felt rejected. And I told them, even when they had turned a little cold on me at Spencer's, I remember telling the group that, hey, I'm not feeling some of the warm love that I was getting previously. Anyway, I wanted to, so we get back and the paper shortage hits us right in the face. Nobody's got the paper for 17,500 books. Nobody's got the paper. And I am freaking out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And, we're trying to figure out how to fix it. And everyone's telling me February now is when I might be able to find the paper. At the end of February is when I might be able to find the paper. And we can all see that I don't think that's quite as true as we hoped it would be. So we ended up not being able to, get them 17.5. There was no way around it that we could find. And I was asked in an email if we could pivot back, that was their word, to the original deal just to keep things going. Well, the guys have been given their checks back because they don't need to have the checks anymore because we're going to get the 50%, right? So that money that they got given back was no longer there. Eric had asked them all in a chat one night, hey, who's got their money still? And no one did at that point. Luke was sick, so he wasn't in that chat. But Randy was the only one that said, yeah, I've got mine. But everyone else had put their money back, rightfully so, because they didn't think they were going to need it. Wherever those investments came from or that money came from, they had put it back and had no access to it. And the company was telling me all this time, B2B is telling me, as Spencer's liaison and as Spencer's, hey, where are issue 2s? You told us you'd be at issue 2 and 3. Where the hell are your Where the hell is your next shipment? And I don't have it because, the guys had made a decision, and, not to send in the payment and the files for the next 3,000 until they got a couple of things, like proofs of things. So there was nothing, that we could do. We were stuck. And I had to tell the company, give me something to give these guys, or you're not going to get anything until we get the 17.5. Because once I get the check for the 17.5, the 50%, I pay them, they're gonna all say, oh, okay, well, fine, there's no issue. But until then, as a pivot back to 3,000, I can't, I can't do that. So we ended up, the deal just sat and sat and sat, and I got an email from them, and I'm gonna post these emails in with the group today. I'm gonna post it so they can see them first, and then I will post the emails and everything after a couple hours to my Facebook so that people can see the emails that I've been told that I can release. Well, I was communicating with Spencer's and B2B liaisons, as well as their communications to me. I got an email that said that basically, you know, like they were they were tired of waiting on me, and that um, they were going to liquidate those books. So um, I freaked out again, and I'm like, well, you can't. There's nothing in my contract that says you can liquidate books. And like, well, under New Jersey law, they've been here for 30 days. That's abandonment of your product. And I'm like, it's not. Well, it's not abandonment. I That's why I went to a lawyer. But they said, okay, well, here's what you're gonna have to pay if you want us to keep these books. Here you need to pay shipping. They gave me a FedEx quote on their shipping. I looked that up. It was official. It was FedEx quote ID. It was $944 shipping on the books from my place to theirs. That was from getting it from my warehouse to theirs. It was $944. They wanted that, plus they wanted a payment per pallet. But they wanted it for, since the pallets had been there since August. So I had to pay 4 months on two pallets. The total was like $3,500, $3,500 I had to pay to get them to stop. I paid that December 16th, I believe. I could be wrong on the date, but I know I paid it in December. It was a couple of days before Christmas, because it took some of my Christmas, couple of things that I want to get people for Christmas. It couldn't happen. Um, so and my son was the first to notice that Christmas was a little sparse this year. Uh, but uh, what's interesting about that is that I paid that, and then a couple days later, I get an email. Not even. I get a letter. I get three packages. One, two contain checks. The third contains some papers that say that, hey, I'm in breach of contract, that I don't have the books to them, which is, was explained to me. I don't have the books. That's what the breach is for. I don't have the books to them, and they're out of money, and they're thinking about suing me, and they listed a bunch of reasons, four or five different reasons. Um, Fraud. They listed that. They listed negligent misrepresentation, uh, business tort, just all types of stuff. And they wanted money for damages, 40,000, over 40,000, which I didn't understand how they would come up with that number. But this is just, these are just documents. These weren't like, this is a legal threat. This isn't, we're taking you to court right now, or this has already been submitted to the court. This is what we're going to do to you. And I immediately went. That was, if you look back on my Facebook. Some of you might remember it if you're Facebook friends with me. On the 20, on or about the 23rd. Yeah, 22nd, 23rd is when I got that paper. And I was like, I like a big kid, I went to Facebook and I was like, yo, nothing like getting sued or something right before Christmas, something like that I wrote. And people reached out. Some people in the group reached out to ask me what was going on. I told them what was going on, and they understood. Like though they didn't. Hey, I gotta get these because we had made the decision that I asked them. I said, guys, what do you want me to do? Because they're not paying, and what do you want me to do? What do you want me to have my lawyer do? And they said, get the books back. So they got the books. I told them I need the books back, and I was told that okay, we can get the books back, but you're gonna have to pay some of the shipping. So I did that. I got the books back. I sent some money over to my lawyer, who then I guess facilitated getting the books, you know, getting the money to them and getting the books back. I did get the books back into my 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 unit, and I let everyone know, and I called a meeting, and they told me, that hey, they were very disappointed in how things it went, and they wanted to pull their books because this corporate deal didn't go through. Uh, and I understood that. Um, and they had asked for pricing the shipping their books back, and I said, hey, uh, but I thought I could. Pop says, and this part I can verify as far as very being word because he told me he might get sued. Not details, but I remember telling him, yeah. I'm not gonna say who else. There's one other person out there that I accidentally let details slip through, and they've contacted me and they've asked me could they go to bat for me, and I told them, no, don't say anything because I accidentally let a detail of this slip to someone who makes comics in the community, and I'll talk to them. I'll call them after this show, and if they want to still mention what they knew, then that might help. But what I was going through on this side, and that I didn't attempt. There was no malice. There was no attempt to do these guys wrong. These guys are my friends. The guys that were in the deal. There's no way in hell. Excuse me. There is no way in hell that you would get me to do something like that to people. But if you think that I'm gonna involve Randy in bullshit, then you don't know me at all. Uh, 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 I draw. I don't know if people know this, but like I do a lot of stuff for I own like all of like the domain names to like a lot of stuff. Like if people need stuff, like I buy like Randy, for example, like I own his convention names. Like I bought those because he didn't have pages for them. So every year when he do a convention, he didn't ask for this either. He didn't have to, and he tried to pay me for them, and I won't take his money. I'm like, no, I don't know, man. This is so I wouldn't have done this. These people, I like, I still like every individual that was involved, and they have a right to be upset. But the problem is that I had this stroke, and I don't know. I guess it scared people because okay, our books are up there. He's had a stroke. What are we gonna do? And I know that I understand, and she knows it. Indie Princess. It seems like the last couple of weeks have just been like one thing after another because before I had the TIA, my son he has behavioral issues, and he's got ODD, ADD. He's very mildly autistic. He has and it shows in his behavior, like how he organizes stuff. But like people say, you would never know it. But when he has his breakdowns, his meltdowns, it's a total fiasco. And he had one where he like attempted like to beat up his ABA nurse. She since quit because she couldn't. Um, she didn't want to handle, him. And he hit his grandma by accident trying to attack the girl, and he had a board, and he was like a clipboard. He was hitting her with it, which could have been serious injuries because those clipboards are sharp on the clip. And she didn't get hurt, thankfully. My mother got popped in the corner of it in the temple. She had to go to the hospital, and so did my son. But that Lola was under that. We had to actually have our son hospitalized for a few days, um, and that was stressful because your baby's not. He's 11, but still my baby. He's not here, so that was stressful. And then this happened. So I think Lola just did not have the. I don't know. She didn't go into the chat. Like, she went into the chat hot, and the message that I wanted conveyed to the members of the group was that, hey, I'm getting ready to move the unit to a different one. I'm getting ready to move the unit. I know you guys want your books pulled, but I'm getting ready to move. Is it okay if I move your books with the stuff? I'm only moving a few, like a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles away. Is it okay if I move your stuff? That's the only thing that I was asking. There was no, I'm gonna throw your stuff out. Just let me know by this particular day in March so I know what, because some people may say, no, I'm coming to get my stuff before you move. I don't trust that you're moving. I don't, I just want them to know that turned into a complete meltdown. Like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't involved with the chat because the doctor said that have, I should just be sitting down, laying down, resting, and doing a lot of, like just resting. And so Lola was like, all right, well, that's it for social media for you. That's it for, you know, a lot of stuff. I could watch movies, but that's it. That's so when this all's happening, I'm like, I don't understand. And I'm really bad at this point. Like, I can't grasp what's happening. Like, wait, why are do they not want, it was really bad. And I remember reaching out, trying to reach out and realizing that I didn't have internet on the one device. I couldn't contact anybody. Anyway, since then, I've paid people back. I did owe some money. I paid people back. Um, I owed two members $1,000 apiece. They were paid back. One was paid back the day before. The other was paid paid back yesterday. Uh, and we are so that's paid. I am I'm really really sorry this happened. Um, I'm really sorry that you know like my lawyer believes that I got scammed. I don't know if that's the case. I like to think that the company was a legitimate company, but if they, I mean, I've never done this before. Um, but you guys have sat with me long enough. Could you hand me could you go get a phone for me, please? Like my could you go get the other phone? Not yours, but like one of the other ones. So um so yeah, I just want people to know. Um yeah, look, I probably didn't have the health to do this deal. In fact, it was told to me yesterday by a good friend. He said nobody involved in this deal had the nobody had the education or the business being in a deal of this magnitude. Um, I'm sure there's things I left out, but I want everybody to know that I didn't. There was no intention of scam anybody or holding on to anybody's books. One second, let me get my phone here. I want to show you guys something if I can. Okay, all right, here we go. Uh, Here we go. I'm going to, sorry, Lola's, if you might hear Lola in the back, she's not having a good time, but I want to, can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, everyone can hear me. I want everybody to know that I didn't, I want everybody to hear something. This is important, I feel. Um, I've never did this on the air before, but I'm gonna call the company that helped me. And maybe if they're there, I can get some answers. I don't think they're open yet, but we're gonna find out. And we're gonna see. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta put it on speaker. I apologize. Hmm.
Business to business, books to books. Serving clients such as Books A Million, 7-Eleven, Walmart, Spencer's Gifts, FYE, and more. You've reached us outside our normal business hours of Tuesday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hello, this is Varian Grant from Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group. Please call me back at your earliest convenience. I have some questions. Thank you. So I left another message, but that was the company that I used, and I just want people to know that I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything malicious. This is no attempt on my part to defraud friends. I'm gonna give the guys that were in the group the proof first, and then I will um, release it to the public so people can see what I was going through from my side. Uh, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Again, I'm working the. I paid back two people who actually gave me money to buy things. I had to buy these kiosks, and one of the kiosks, a friend of mine is hanging on to, but he's going to be giving it to me or to Eric in a couple of days to give to one of the people who bought them. Even though I returned the money, he'd want to see it, so I'm going to make sure that happens. It's very important at this point to me, though, that people don't think that I set out to swindle and lie. It's very important that people know that. And Lola, you can stop crying. I know this has been hard for you and difficult as well.
You
Uh,
should see what they said
well,
about me.
oh, sorry, you're echoing, but I'll have to check it out a little later. Um, and I will look at it. But again, she had nothing to do with it other than going in like going in ridiculously angry with people, and she's learned that she can't do that. I don't know why I mean, I know she was under a lot of stress with my son and me, especially now. Um, with it. So I get it. A lot of stress, and she's got other stuff that's going on. So I understand her anger. But she and I had a long talk about how to talk to people, and what she didn't do right when she was communicating. Would you say that's fair? And even if someone is mad, you have to de-escalate and let them know that what you're going to do to fix it. I've even, I'm like, look, I don't want people paying shipping back. I've offered to drive or to have their stuff driven to them so they could get it, so they can at least drop the cost of shipping. It's just not the shipping of those books, even, I mean, person to person, box to box, just isn't worth it. I've offered, guys, let me help at least one last time. Let me try to get the books to you. Let me drive them down to you. Let me get them as close to you as possible so you can come pick them up. There's no, I don't, I'm not, I want to help still. I'm not trying to cut bait with anybody and swim away. It's just let me help. let me assist, however I can. If it means, I have to, throw, a lot of cases of books and drive down to your cities, I will. It's not, I don't have, I can't drive them, but I will come with the person who's driving them. I will hand deliver your books. It's not, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. My lawyer thinks that I got scammed. Me getting scammed doesn't, um, me getting scammed is not, I still feel horrible about what happened to people. Because if I got scammed by myself, okay, it happened. People watch me get scammed in real time. Um, at a Comic-Con a couple of last year. And some of the same people involved in this deal watch me get scammed by a person I hired at the show. And it happened. And then there was a point where Luke had reached out to me and he said, this guy wants to buy some of my books. And I still got those emails. And the guy wrote to me and he said, yeah, I want 2,000 or something of Luke's books. And I said, which one? And he said, all of them. And I'm like, you want 2,000 copies of Luke's book? And like, he's got like 8 of them. Which one do you want? And the guy didn't seem like he was serious and wouldn't give me a shipping address. Just wanted to send me a check. And I told Luke, I said, Luke, this is a scam. And Luke might remember that. And that was before. So I was watching for scams for other people, just not myself. And I regret it. I regret it. If I was scammed, I didn't see it coming. I mean, I got emails from these people with the right places on them. So I didn't see it coming. And I apologize to these guys as much as I can. Again, I want to make things right. They shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know why this happened. There is another part of the story that over the last couple of days, I've been in touch with Spencer's. They're running it through their departments to see what happened, to see, what happened on that end. Because we don't know. I mean, but I just don't know if, like, first of all, I want to remind people that I don't think there's any bad guys in this situation. I don't. I think, yeah, creators who guys, and I think Eric was right when he says that, nobody was in a position to be, in this type of deal, dealing with this type of, because corporate business is completely different than, street business or whatever. It's completely different. I've heard a couple things. I know that people say that, oh, well, why'd you go down there on a Friday? Business deals aren't signed on a Friday. That's actually incorrect. A lot of business deals are signed on Friday. One of the largest business deals ever done was signed on a Friday. The most expensive thing you'll ever buy in your life, your home, most people prefer to close on Fridays. A lot of realtors have told me that over the years. Friday is the worst day. That's why they don't even like showing houses on Friday, because they have a ton of closings. But corporate businesses, there have been. Disney bought Marvel on the 31st of December. That was a Thursday. They would have did it on Friday, but Friday was the 1st. Anyway, guys, if anybody would, if look, I don't collect money for any of my other companies. I mean, if I sell a comic, sure. I've never told anybody to pay me for anything. I want to earn every dollar I make. And you can ask yourself, if I ever asked anybody for any money, I wouldn't have done it this time. I wouldn't have tried to screw over fellow creators who I like. I travel around the country. You know, I meet people all the time. I'm not screwing creators over. So I will you said what, Lola? Yeah. Oh, a poll was created. Okay. I can't understand you a lot right now because again, guys, too, you have when you, I can't type really well right now, so streaming or talking to you this way is the best way I can com- communicate with you. So I just want you guys to know that again, I did do the best I could, and oh, and a couple other things that happened since. Believe it or not, I've gotten people to reach out and want to buy books to help out Liberty. So it's been a really weird thing. Uh, uh, but I wanted to make sure that people that actually were owed money were paid first, and they've all been paid now. So I want to make sure that that's out there. That anybody who was owed money has been paid. Everything that they have, so we're clear. Uh, I don't owe anybody anything else, and I'm happy to, other than the books, like
we
I said.
do.
Huh?
I paid Randy 80 to 85%. I'm not good with percentages, guys, of what he was owed that he put in, and I paid that yesterday. That is paid. And just to go off topic because everyone's throwing everything together right now. The auction, I made posts when I found out about it. Posts and screenshots are up. Randy and Luke both know what happened. My PayPal got banned because I was accepting donations.
What?
And I didn't even know until someone was gonna send in a donation to my PayPal and they told me it wouldn't go through. I'm like, well, it's a business PayPal, so there's a certain way you have to do it. You have to send it for goods and services. And they're like, yeah, I tried that as well, and it's not working. I said, okay, hold on, let me check. I went to my PayPal, and they banned me.
Well,
I gave them a call, and they told me because I was accepting donations, it would take 190 days normally, but it might take a little bit longer because of COVID, and they gave me the runaround basically. I can't have a PayPal anymore. I'm banned. And I'm waiting on the money. I reached out to Luke and Randy immediately, and I told them what happened. And I also came out of my pocket and gave them what I had. I gave them $125 each because that's all I had at the time. And I told them I would keep paying them until I didn't owe them anymore. And both of them said, don't worry about it. Do not come out of pocket for me. I know you will send me the money. But that
was in January. Well, and I gotta agree with Atrocity Presses. I'm pretty sure your PayPal got canceled because of the raffle. Raffles are considered gambling against PayPal terms of service.
Yeah, that's just what they told. I'm going off of what they told me.
I believe that it got canceled because of the influx of money coming in. It was all different amounts, and I think that that's and they will get rid of you.
But I did touch base with everyone that was in the auction yesterday, or that was in the auction. I touched base with them yesterday. Everybody got their stuff. Now, when it comes to the raffle, I am waiting on a couple more things. I did touch base again with those people yesterday. They are sending them. One of the things is lost in the mail, so they're gonna resend the product. I have everything else on my kitchen table right now, ready to go.
Also, you started shipping lure.
And I started shipping lore yesterday. I talked about it that on Geekgasm. I did send out a batch yesterday. My card got maxed out um, because I paid Randy for the Liberty stuff, and then I paid what I could on lore. Because all this is coming out of pocket right now, guys. Everything was tied up in my PayPal. So they maxed out my card because I have a student card.
Well, no, that's also what you have to understand is that when we put money through yours to pay people to pay the PayPal, that yeah, your card maxed you out, but you know, at later on today we'll begin making any I don't think there's any payments left. I'm pretty sure that's it. But if there's any money left, it will be paid by the end of the day as well. But I'm pretty sure there's nothing out there that's left. If not, I mean, there might be like 30, 40 bucks out there, but if there is, you know, and also please, if you're owed anything, and I know that because we got a list, you know, if you were owed anything for your books or whatnot that were through the corporate deal, that you know, please reach out to Lola and let her know, hey, I'm owed X amount. Could you send that over? This is for the 9, you know, books that we had. If you're owed anything, let us know. So, you know, and look through the records and see if, you know, what happened and get you taken care of.
I have records in 3 different places. So I have a copy everywhere. I keep my records good.
So I just wanted to, again, come online, you know, and again, you know, I just wish that, you know, I wish that people would allow me to explain what happened, and there will be more information as you know, I'm, you know, getting down to the bottom of it. Even with Spencer's, they are involved in trying to assist me and you know, somewhat in trying to figure out what happened because they're interested as well. I I'm getting calls from a company saying that they're picking up books for Spencer's. They want to know what happened, and nobody out there has officially denied it, which is also pretty odd. But we're working. You know, I'm glued to, you know, like the phone, waiting to hear. But again, I didn't attempt to do this to people that I care about. I wouldn't have done this anyway. I keep asking, why would I get a bunch of books printed and do nothing? Like, what would have been the purpose of it? What would have been this? What would have been the great scam? I can't figure it out. Uh, I'm not a scammer, so I don't know how one would do that. The worst thing that I've done is brought, and Eric jokes about this, is that I brought cans back from out of state. That's probably the worst thing that I've done.
I want to say something real quick too. That's
Sure.
been going around. There's a lot of talk that, you know, 2 things, but first that relates to this. There's a lot of talk that the books never left Michigan. They did, and Eric can confirm they did. He knows he saw them. There was proof, there was evidence, there was paperwork from Spencer's on them, rewrapped. And then I saw that our plan was to burn down the storage unit and get the insurance money. No, not at all.
It's a big facility that would have been impossible. I hate. I mean, I laugh. I'm not laughing because it's. I'm laughing. That wouldn't have been.
And I saw again. Did anyone ever see the supposed storage unit? Yes, I have pictures. Randy was there.
They've actually taken over the storage unit.
And we have no access to it.
Eric now has access to the storage unit. They took over, which was again, they're paying for nothing. They're paying for nothing. And because I was willing to move their stuff. They're not paying, like they don't have to. Storage units do not pay that well on insurance. They don't. It only would have been like $2,000 or $3,000, I believe. So I mean, that was the insurance policy that was on the unit. You could go up, but no, there's no if that would have still been at up. I mean, that's ridiculous. And by the way, it's a big stone facility. It's not, but that just goes to show you there are a lot of people who don't, they got street business down, they've got some ideas, but they don't understand how, actual business works. But no, it's a big stone facility. You're gonna be trying to set that sucker on fire, which is what's why. And it's an older building too. It's we were there. They've taken it over now, so they've got their unit.
I even bought, to make sure the books were safe that we were holding, the 1,000 that we were holding, I bought a $150 big metal shelving unit.
Oh yeah, the shelf.
To put the books that we were keeping on there, because 200 was going to Spencer's, and they wanted
2,000.
Or 2,000 was going to Spencer's, and the other 1,000 we were holding, and they could get them whatever they wanted. We were taking them to cons for them, which everyone has been paid for.
Yeah, and we just oh, what happened? She must have dropped. There you go. So what we did,
and I bought a big tarp to keep them safe from the elements.
So what we did was, we just wanted to make sure that if there was any leaks, we put it over the ceiling. We there was no leaks. The thing was airtight, but we took precautions to make sure that everyone's stuff was taken care of. Yeah, John Talk says, Comic Talk of Potts Van Zandt agreed. I immediately reached out to people, and when you dig into the details, you realize if they're in the low to scam people, then they're the worst scammers.
And now they're coming. Now they're coming after. Now this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm done. Varian did have a stroke, and I'm tired of people saying he didn't. That's all. I'll let him finish.
No, I'm sorry. My computer needed to do something. I guess I must have kicked the wire. Dreaded Dinosaur says the books are fine, all on pallets, waiting on the publishers for instructions. Exactly. I told the publishers that again, they didn't even have to pay or pick up the charge for that unit. I was happy to move it with my stuff. That was never in. When I spoke to Luke, Luke said the inclination he got was that his stuff was going to be thrown out on the streets and just left, and that wasn't what we're doing at all. It was just I was hoping to get permission either to move the books with my stuff, which they would have been provided the address. I would have not kept their books from them. I mean, the books that I had kept, the 1,000 that were for Liberty to sell, were kept in very well condition. Eric can comment on that. They were kept really nice. Pop says, I don't see the end game in the whole thing. Scammers have an exit strategy to make money. Yeah. And again, if you're just tuning in, I'm sorry that I sound like I can't read. It's the stuttering. I'm in speech therapy though. I got speech rehab today too. So I should be, as a matter of fact, I got to start getting ready for that. There was no end game. There was no exit strategy. I didn't have one because I was just intending to make some money with my friends. That's all. I thought we could make some money, and probably I was excited because people kept saying, this is going to change this is going to change the industry. This is going to change comics. And I was super excited for it. I think I just bit off more than I can chew. And I started believing my own hype. Um, you know, yeah, I do. I do think that Lola did. She takes on a lot. Like I go down, she's like, I'll do it. I'll do it. She was under way too much stress this time to do anything. She was under way too much stress, way too much, and I should have known that. And she did, look, she's kept a lot of other stuff going. I couldn't do the stuff. Even let me put it this way: even at 100%, me being at 100%, I still can't do everything I do without her help. So I want to make that clear that I'm not saying anything's her fault, but I do think that, you know, we probably could have avoided a lot of the speculation, because that's also a problem that we've had with this deal from day one, was that there was too much speculation, from other people, and that will derail anything very quickly. Uh Drawn Talk says if they scam the money, people would be in sorry, if they scam, the money would be in taking everyone's money and saying, I'll print the books for you and then run. Yeah, I didn't have the print files. I didn't collect the money. I didn't do any of that. That wasn't on me. That wasn't something that I wanted to do. I just thought, again, I wanted people to know, and it's been a while, so I want to get our side out there. People that I talk to says that my side actually dovetails very well with what happened to them, or what they say people have told them. So, I'm not trying to defer any blame. I'm not. That's not the intention here. Again, paying back people what we owe them. As far as I know, everybody's paid. But if I'm missing something, please reach out first and let me know. I'm not gonna hear about it through streams because I'm not online. You have to contact me and let me know, hey, Varian, you owe me $50 or something. But I'm almost 100% positive everybody's paid. Yeah, it says, give Lola some props. There have been times that she was at her wits' end and she kept things going until everything can be sorted out. If anything, she was a source of transparency. She reached out. And I know, like you said earlier, she responded to a rude comment, and I get it. That's. Let me tell you something. She's always been that way. You're not going to be rude to her. She's going to stand up for herself. Now, I know there are people out there who don't like that, especially out of women. But she's under a lot of stress. She's got to deal with me. She actually has to help me with my arms and cleaning my arms, and my ears when they start to, it's rough. She has to make sure I get out of bed, get in bed. She has to help me up sometimes, to remember things, lately, especially, if I fall asleep, I wake up and there's a problem. Like, I don't know where I'm at. Takes a minute to get calibrated. I wish that I could. This is gonna sound mean, but I wish I can share the experience with you guys, a little bit of what it feels like when I wake up. It's very surreal. Um, Pop says, or something. I just don't see the malice. A scammer would have been gone with those books as soon as they showed up. Tyler says, the scammer wouldn't even print the books. The money is in the checks that are needed to print the books.
Why would you be on social media still?
Huh?
And why would our profile?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would have disappeared from social media quick as hell. I would have been like, I'm gone. I'm gone. I didn't, do that. I'm still here. I just can't type, guys. My fingers are not working the way they used to. I can eat. I can hold a burger, but typing is like chicken pecking. I haven't even been able to cut my fingernails. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I cut my fingernails like once every week and a half. Haven't been able to do that. We know what Lola's been dealing with. I made it clear going at the wife is always unacceptable. Anyone's wife. That is true. Hey, Varian, why people are going to be harsh on you and Lola is because y'all have been transparent. Was it a business deal gone south? Yeah, but that will blow over. Indie Comics as well. Sure. Look, those guys, I understand people are hurt. I'm hurt. The hell, invite me on some shows so I can talk about it. I need to talk about it too, because people see things that I don't see. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I totally get. People have been saying, well, those guys got their books back. They got their books back. Sure, but they can't feed their family with those books. They can't send a stack of books to the energy company and say, here's my payment for my rent. And I've told people that, and they come back with, well, it was a business deal. You win some, you lose some. They should have known the risk. But I got them involved in that risk, and I feel responsible. I got them involved in that. That was me, and I'm trying to work to make it right. And that's all I can do. And you can call me what you want, but I paid back money. I paid back over. I'm losing. I think I don't think I've said this live yet. I'm not sure. Maybe I have. But as of yesterday, I'm now officially $10,000 in the hole on this deal. 10 grand and going, because I don't know what else I'm going to get hit with, what other charges. So I didn't want this, and I didn't want this for them. If I just took the hit, that would have been better. That would have been better if I just would have got scammed, because it happens to me. I get scammed. I got scammed. Everyone laughed. I got scammed in real time back in April of last year, and everybody laughed. And I just kind of, and I get it. What I got scammed for is a couple $100. I get it, but I just guess I got to the point where it was just business. So only 10K says Nefarious. Only 10K. Yeah, I'm just out of 10. And here's the thing. I will get through trying to fix things. I'm trying to, I don't know how to make I don't know how to make stuff better in terms of, like, I got your books. Like I said, I've asked, and I've tried to put out there, I will drive you your books. I will drive them. You just let me know if that's what you want me to do. I will drive them. I will get some money, and I will load up a car, and me and the driver will drive them down there to you so you can get them. I don't want people to have to pay to get their books back. That's not right. That's not what I wanted. I don't know if he's available. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but Eric and I can, I can get them. I'll rent a Sprinter van, and we can drive it down and let people pick up their books, and then we'll drive it around and get this deal taken. Get these people their books back. That's what I was hoping I could do. I don't want them having to pay extra money or deal with logistics. It's not what I wanted. And even as the deal deteriorated, I didn't want that for them. Anyway, I got speech therapy and I think occupational therapy. The Fairy says, I'm still unclear what the Spencer's deal, who you were negotiating with, what their connection Spencer's was, and what paperwork is in place before the books were printed. So I was given, I signed the deal with the B2B squared or B2B service before anything. Can someone tell me a video to watch? Well, I explained it earlier in this video, so if you can go back, if you go back in this one, you'll see I talk about what happened, how I signed with B2B, and then they got me in touch with Spencer's, And they got me in touch. I had an email from someone who was do B2B for 7-Eleven as one of their customers. So I, you know, 7-Elevens, and I had somebody from 7-Eleven reach out and say they wanted books too. Nothing ever came of that. They wanted more than we could afford to ship. So we couldn't do that. But I figured, and we all figured, hell, when that deal comes up after this deal, we're gonna be ready. Like because we'd have enough books, and didn't work. They never contacted me back, but it was through the same company, the same B2B. Well, the way it was explained to me is that B2B would pass me on to Spencer's. So I got NDAs from both. I signed a contract with B2B Squared. There's also a yearly payment you have to make to B2B. If anybody they put you up with, you have to, I guess they would get it. They would get your yearly sales, how much you had made. And then they would ask for, was it 10 or 20% of that?
It was 2,000 or 20%.
Yeah, okay. So 20% of what you made from people they had hooked you up with, or $2,000, whichever was greater. Yeah. GR Comic Con said, I got you beat, Comics Talk. I had a business in Christian music where my partner in the venture smoked the profits via Cuban cigars. Yeah. I look, my lawyer's telling me, Varian, I think you got scammed. But I hope that's not the case. If it is, then I'm embarrassed. There's a lot of egg on my face, and I feel bad, and I need to fix it. Because I never would have involved these people that I look up to. I never would have done that. Never. It wouldn't have happened. I was proud about what we had built. I was proud of it. I was excited. I had boxes made, and I was super excited. I just wanted things to move forward. Eric Huggins, it sounds like B2B is like ReaderLink. ReaderLink supplies Walmart and Target their books. That is who the Brettwise had their deal with, not actually Walmart. See, I don't know. I don't know about any of this, guys. I'm learning now. I'm learning now as things go on what happily happened. And I think a lot of people are right. I was woefully educated in this particular endeavor to be involved in it. I mean, I did go get a friend of mine who was he's a corporate he does corporate stuff for a company. He works for a phone company. He's in charge of getting companies to switch over their phone services. He has to call $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies, and try to convince them to switch over to his company that he works for. And I called him and I said, will you work for me with Liberty? And I took him to lunch, and he said, yeah, I will. And he said, look, I work for you, but I don't want to talk to any of your publishers. And he said, I don't want to talk to any publishers there. I don't want to deal with publishers. I don't want to deal with, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Because you're just going to be dealing with the corporates. So why would you have to talk to me about what the corporate said? I'll talk to Eric. Eric will tell the publishers. And that's how that happened. Let me read this. Nefarious says, no, you didn't get scammed. I know what happened now. He says, right, and he needed proof he had the product before the deal went through, but what Spencer's didn't like their side, which Varian didn't get to see. They pulled out and Varian was left. Junior comments, expensive lesson. Yeah. Joe says, if you got scammed, it is an expensive lesson to learn. Business is a constant learning and growth process. If you don't vet entities correctly, you will end up hurting. Yeah, yeah. Look, my vetting stuff was I didn't vet. I mean, I didn't check. I talked to investigators. You should always check LinkedIn. Check LinkedIn when you're doing business. Make sure the person you're doing business with is the person that I mean, I'm kind of aloof sometimes, guys, especially now with the medicine. But I'm not blaming my medicine. I'm not just. I'm kind of. I backed a book on Kickstarter once that was on Indiegogo and found out that the Kickstarter version was the fake version. So I get. I don't. Sometimes I don't vet stuff properly. Van was up with the overstock. That's how I read it. 2 Neff. There's nothing illegal, nothing scummy, just a mistake. Variant told the creators they had a deal and they had to provide the stock, but the deal fell through and they're left holding the bag. And I don't want anybody left holding the bag. Various, honestly, I'm like, I can't type. Otherwise, I'd be trying to contact the creators and say, hey, look, um, look, what can I do to help? I want to make this right. If I can get them all on the live stream, maybe tomorrow night, I will. It will be off the record. It won't be posted online for everyone to see. But I just want people to know that and nothing, nothing I did, and Liberty still has books that are going to mom and pop comic shops and they've been going out, and that's fine. But this corporate deal did not work out. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't say I'm sorry enough. Variant, please in the future, pay your own money up front. I want to put something in the way. The best way to move forward is to promote the heck out of the creators IGG and get those books sold. I like the help. It wasn't, again, there was nothing malicious in my attempts. I didn't mean to do any of this stuff that happened. If I had my perfect world, the books would be there in the shops. They'd be at drugstores. They'd be all over right now. You'd get tired of seeing them, but that's not what happened. As I've been talking for a little bit closer to 2 hours, but I want everyone to know that I'm personally, my health, I had a bit of a setback a couple of days ago, but I feel that I'm back to where I was before that setback. Pops, you're right. I don't ask for freebies. I wanted to, if I can't afford to, if I'm not willing to put my own money in it, I wasn't going to bring anybody else to it. But I still didn't I still didn't validate and vet people. And that's something that I should have done. I didn't do that. I do better at IndieVault vetting things. You guys know, if a story comes to me, I go out and I vet it. I take 2-3 hours looking around to see if I find any contradictory opinions. And I'm used to being the one who does the shaking my finger. I'm not the one that usually gets a finger shook at him. So there are some more documents that we've since uncovered. And I'll be presenting those to the guys. And then I'll make sure I post some stuff on my social media so people can see it. Anyway, meantime, again, my health, I'm trying to get better, and I will. I have another appointment scheduled for a different one for. I am going finally now to do my armpit surgery. I kept pushing my armpit surgery back because I wanted to be here for when this deal needed, to make sure that it was going smoothly. So I kept pushing my deal back and kept my surgery back. I kept pushing my surgery back, and then they told me they had to cancel all non-essential surgeries. So, how'd you hook up with B2B? There was a lot of referral services. I use a lot of referral and B2B services. I always contact them to see what information they have. B2B says that they were. Well, it appears that the way I contacted them was, I signed up for one of these services that well, I signed up for a larger service that just specialized in books. The books were because a lot of those companies, they're all fashion. All of them are fashion. Um, and I was so when I found one that was like, hey, we do books. I was like, okay, and it cost me. I had to send in $75 to get like connected with them. But that's how I hooked up with B2B Squared. I mean, again, it's business to business, books to bucks, and yeah. Pop says from now, anyone comes at me with the big deal, I will dissect them before talking to them. This scares the crap out of me. It Pops, this is horrible. I mean, I never intended for this to happen. I know there are people who think, but I would have to have been the worst scammer in the world to make this happen. I didn't make anything. I was paying money every month, paying money out every month. Where was my end game? I mean, there's some silly ideas out there. Burning a storage unit down? That's ridiculous. So no, I just want everybody. In fact, I had a very strict rule about the storage unit. No liquids, no cigarettes, no nothing could be in the unit. Nothing. So there was absolutely nothing allowed around that storage units with that storage, to borrow a phrase from my mother, that storage unit was as dry as a powder house. And I wanted to make sure that, everybody, their stuff was taken care of. Um, yeah, yeah, I hear you, V. I'm speaking for me. And yeah, and in the future, I'll be doing things differently. I won't, I'll be vetting things left and right. I'm probably not going to respond to people messaging me until I run them to make sure. Look, I just talked to somebody yesterday who told me they're going to vet everybody in the industry now. They're looking up everybody. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't have anything. Trust me. They're looking up everybody. And they're like, we're going to post what we find about people, about creators. And hey, go ahead. That's kind of illegal in some places, but I mean, if the information's out there publicly, go ahead. But I'm gonna start vetting too. I want to make sure who I'm doing business with. And I want to make sure that I am just above board with everything. I'm not gonna do it on camera, but I can't tell you. I've cried quite a bit because these are my friends. And when I tell you that my son calls Randy Grandpa Randy, that's how close, it was. I never would have done that to these people, but especially like knowing that this has happened now, I'm like, I don't know how I let it happen. I don't, but I am going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I assure you. Pixel is tough. Yeah, Pixel, it is tough because I care about all these people that are involved in this deal. I do. I didn't want that to happen. Yeah, hey, I'll fight my way out of it. I'll show people. I've paid Randy and JD. They loaned me $1,000 each for kiosk, and I paid that back. And again, guys, I'm sorry if you haven't heard me say I'm sorry yet. I'm so sorry this happened. But me and my wife did not scam anybody. We never intended to scam anybody. If you want to blame me, you can, because I was a little drunk on power. Like I said, I got a company outside of comics that I'm involved with that's doing very, very well. And I got a little, and I got a little cocky. I did. I got a little cocky. And that probably led to me not vetting and just, oh, I'm good. And things were happening. Joe says you got to vet everyone to a degree. You need to have a sense of security in the transaction before moving forward in business. That is true. That is true. So guys, look, I'm going to get off of here, but I'm going to hang out in the back room for a bit. I'm gonna put the link in. I'm gonna go off air. But if you'd like to come in and chat with me and get some more, like I can't provide many details, but if you want to come in and ask some questions, uh, I'll be here for another 30 minutes. I'm waiting for my ride. I have a ride coming to take me, um, to my appointment, but I'm waiting. So if you want to pop in and ask some questions and just see how I'm doing, I'm gonna hang out in the back for a while. Until then, though, guys, you guys have a great day. Try to leave this industry a better place than you found it. I always say that, and it probably means a lot more today than it did, last week when I would say it. So, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. I didn't say it a week ago. So please, guys, uh, it's this needs some time. Your brand has been damaged, relations have been damaged, but there are financial concerns. But with time, you can rebuild. Yeah, look, I that's the point. I made a mistake, and mistakes were made, and all I can do is recover from them. Really, Joe says Anthony Figueroa's criticism extreme, harsh. Mistakes were made, but to use the terms he used was very bad. I haven't heard him, but I know that Anthony's upset, and he has every right to be upset. But like Anthony said, if he told me, he said on another stream, he said if the deal was bullshit, it was that's one thing. If the deal was real, he's gonna be really upset with me because that means that I fucked it up, and I don't think that's necessarily true. It's like I'm damned if I do, if I damned if I don't, at certain points. So I understand people's anger, though, man. I mean, they've got I don't know everybody's financial situations. I don't know who's living check to check. I don't know who's you know I don't know. I don't know. My financial situation isn't everyone else's. I've been very, very lucky. And so I can't speak. I can't, when somebody says, oh, well, they only lost this amount of money. I'm like, that doesn't matter because I don't know I don't know what people are, the more angry you are, I can pretty much assume that you needed that cash. And I want to, if I can help recoup it, if I can help you any way I can, I'm happy to try. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna post a link for the join, and I'm gonna sign off here. Yeah, I ain't pops. Again, I told people not to invest if they couldn't, but people, you know what? Look, if you came to me right now and I only had $1 in my pocket, it's like, I think Luke said it best. It was FOMO. People were like, I don't want to miss out on this. Even though I expressed I would come back for everyone. If you couldn't get in, I would come back for you. I just wanted people to know. I will be posting some documents. Today is Thursday, correct? Yeah, I'll post some documents as late as Friday because I want the guys to get them first. I'll post them to them later on. And then I want them to have them. And then, should I need to, I'll post what documents are important for people to see. Some things have to be redacted because, um, uh, COVID Kev says, did you overpromise past your ability? I believe you're sincere, but what does making right look like? I offered a couple different things. I'm pretty sure, but I mean, like, look, I even said at one point, I know another company that might buy the books, but they weren't offering as much as the previous deal was. The books were only 50 cents to print. They were over. They were 50 cents to print, and they were yeah, and I forgot how much we were selling them. What we were going to get for them. But that was the thing. I didn't want people to, like I want to try to sell the books, but the person who wanted to buy them now, they're like, nope, they don't want to pay. They're going to pay more than 50 cents per book, but they're not going to match the deal that we would have gotten. So I couldn't do that. And plus, you know, again, we are an at-will publisher. If you want to pull your book at any point, you can. You know, we don't. No, you're tied up. The only time I tell people is, yeah, I should have just, you know, like moved it. He says, let's see. He says, the sad thing is that Varian didn't protect anyone. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have just expected the deal to just happen until people was a go. It was go to print 2K books each. People trusted that he was in charge of the deal, but it wasn't Varian's deal. He didn't broker it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wasn't the person. You know, like it seems. You know, like I know when I was talking to them, it seemed like they did a lot to kind of muddy the waters of who I was talking to, because Carl was listed as the B2B um, co-owner or co-manager, co-owner, but he was also emailing me from a Spencer's email address. So I never, and that was brought up to me recently. And I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, but I just, because it was also told to me that they work like these buyers all go in and out, and that was the company that was supposed to buy for Spencer's, and you know, they all answer to one person there. So that's the way it was kind of explained to me. And I just took it, I took it at face value. Okay, well, you know, that's fine. Anyway, guys, so links in the chat. I'm gonna go back and you guys can feel free to pop in if you want. I won't be here for long, but I will be here for a bit. So if that makes sense. All right, thank you guys for listening. Again, have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.